And new details this hour surrounding the death of Jackass star Ryan Dunn. Just a short time ago, police identified the passenger killed alongside Dunn in that fiery car crash right outside of Philadelphia. Dunn tweeted this picture shortly before the accident. The man to the right is Zachary Hartwell, a 30-year-old stuntman and production assistant for the Jackass 2 movie. Also today, Roger Ebert is clarifying a controversial Twitter post he made about the tragedy that set off a firestorm of criticism from Dunn's friends. On Twitter, Roger Ebert wrote, quote, "Friends don't let jackasses drink and drive." After the backlash, Roger Ebert followed up with a blog that said, quote, "I regret that my tweet about the event was considered cruel. It was not intended as cruel. It was intended as true. I was probably too quick to tweet. That was unseemly." And joining me now, nationally syndicated radio talk show host Michael Smerconish, who's also an MSNBC contributor. Michael, I should say, Roger Ebert and his wife Chaz, two of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. But with that said, what do you think of this tweet that he sent out?
Well, you point out that it happened in suburban Philadelphia. Here's the Philadelphia Daily News. It's a huge story in these parts and indeed all across the country. I agree with Roger Ebert. He was unseemly. And that was his clear-headed, I think, reflection on what he did initially. What he said may prove to be correct. In fact, Tamron, you could say that there's a presumption that Roger Ebert was right, given the hour at which the crash occurred, the way in which the crash occurred, where they'd been prior to the crash taking place. But that's all best said, I think, after at least there's been a burial and the family has had an opportunity to come to grips with what's just transpired.
Absolutely. TMZ is reporting that Dunn had 3 beers and 3 shots in 4 hours before that crash, which they say happened, the drinking around 1 a.m. The crash happened about an hour and a half later. But one of the other stars of this reality movie series that they have, Jackass, Bam Margera, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, says, Margera, I just lost my best friend. I've been crying hysterically for a full day. And he refers to Roger Ebert negatively with a profane word. And he said that Roger Ebert had his gall to put his 2 cents in. So obviously upset about it. But Roger Ebert says, you know, listen, the words were wrong. It was an instant tweet. But if it turns out that this was a case of drinking and driving, you have people who have lost their lives, including the person who chose to get behind the wheel, if these reports are right, who was drunk at the time or had been drinking.
Tamron, my parents raised me always saying time and a place, time and a place, time and a place.
Right.
There will be a time and a place for Roger Ebert's analysis, but it's not yet.
Absolutely. I think you're spot on with that observation. Michael, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it.
You too, Tamron. Have a good day.